Welcome back, noble heroes. We will go ahead and return to the Outrunner as Roland steers the ship down the Crystal Forest River, going towards the Crown Clock. As you all have gotten back on the ship, Euphemia, you were with the group that had come back, and you see Walk Snow Roads sort of floating about in the air. You guys, as a background, Roland is getting some quiet lessons about steering from the upper deck, while you all have walks down on the main deck.
June turns to Yuffie and she goes, "Did you all have any problems while we were gone?" She glances briefly with her eyes towards
Yeah, it took a long time. You hear Potjack say.
She'll have finally gotten him his cover thing.
She says, "It took exactly as long as necessary."
Who's the new bird?
He was there when we got him.
He says, did you say that?
She goes, "You were there when he arrived."
What's his name?
His name is Walk Snow Roads.
Walks is going to stare up at the looming shadow of Potjack.
Walks, this is Potjack.
He's going to reach down and sort of like poke Walks
She
a little bit.
pulls him back in the air.
Pretty skinny he is, he says. We got so many tiny people on the ship. This is a tiny person ship, he says as he walks back over.
I'm gonna find a way to make him pay for that, she says under her breath.
Oh, you already beat him twice. Just spread it around.
As the ship is now sailing through the wide juts of crystal. Is there any conversation upon that?
Have you released Walks yet?
Nope, he's still floating. I don't trust him to not stay on board while we're in the forest.
Okay.
Because if he kills something out there, it'll still be frustrating because he won't be on the boat anymore, but it won't, cause Injasi to want to, eat him.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Fair point.
So, he stays next to me.
She'll ask why he's calling you mother.
She shrugs, honestly. I think I was the first thing he saw when he woke up. He believes he was born.
I don't know much about darkness, but is that normal?
Well, there's no real gauge to judge this by, considering this is a fairly unique situation.
So he's lost everything.
It's possible he may get it back. I don't know. There might also be something to do with messengers, considering he can speak in full sentences.
Do you think the messengers will even want him back at this point? Maybe re-indoctrinate him into their order again?
I don't know.
Because he does still seem to have their...
Abilities?
Yeah.
Yes, that is my concern. I don't know. Unfortunately, not much is known about the messengers, despite many attempts to try to learn. She looks vaguely frustrated, but she goes and she shrugs. However,
You have successfully been sailing the ship now for a few minutes. So, you wanted to take off your hand, lad? Dom says.
Is Bali still here?
is he hovering? Is he concerned?
Dom seems more amused. Bali is definitely hovering.
Bali's a hoverer, though.
Do I have to?
He says, no, but I figure you may wish to hear about Shadow. She's gone off on a search.
Oh yeah, I just figured she was in Shadowrun. Where'd she go?
He looks over. Bali is going to answer for your question. She went to get some sunwood.
Who sent her?
Me and Triss. Or, well, she sort of sent herself. Triss was in a funk, and Shadow thought she could help.
I'm glad she's getting comfortable around everybody.
So, I was talking with Hero not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to have a group conversation. So why don't you head downstairs and get him? Tell him you're back.
Okay. Well, if you ever need anybody to steer.
When we're on a wider river, she says.
Yeah, he'll step back and relinquish the wheel. And then head down to Hero's bunk.
Right. You guys see walks. He's slowly floated to the side, and now he can barely keep his eyes open.
Is he sleeping next to you?
Yeah, he's literally floating right next to her. She's just kept him there.
You know, he's actually pretty cute.
I know, he's adorable, isn't he?
Then again, I might just have a fondness for cute little birds.
I do hope he gets his memories back.
I'm kind of curious as to... She looks at him. Well, you know, just curious about what's in there now.
I'm more curious about exactly how he was contaminated in the first place. I've never heard of a messenger being influenced in any way.
How is something contaminated? She asks. How does it happen?
Well, there are many ways. Contact, for one. If it kills you, it can take over your body.
That's delightful.
Sometimes it can possess you.
And you've no idea what happened?
In this particular circumstance, I have no idea.
Isaac, what do you do?
He would be checking on his things to see if they were rifled through at all.
We figured.
As you get downstairs, you are going to check through your things in
This is a pair of
the
tweezers.
brig. As your hand checks, you're going to slowly pull out a porn magazine.
I knew it. Is it amidst my tools?
It is stuck under the blankets of your bed.
Okay, so for a moment he doesn't realize what they are at first, and he's like, what?
The first thing to greet you is an interesting view. So imagine a Playboy magazine, cover.
Right.
But it is a completely albino tiefling on the front of the cover who is wearing giant feathered angel wings on her back and has twisting black branching horns. She is cosplaying as Satan.
So, do things like printing presses exist in this setting yet?
It's usually magical, but
Okay.
yes. There are groups of amateur wizards who are co-opted in order to cast spells to copy pages.
Okay.
And pictures.
Got it. Isaac is like, what in the name of the pits is this? Oh, and he covers it with a... He takes his blanket, covers it again.
Somebody's near. Oh, God. I don't even care who it is.
Congo in there?
No, I'd say he's probably in there by himself right
Damn it.
now. And then with a flustered look, he's gonna continue going through the rest of his stuff to see if anything's missing.
As you do a small inventory, you do keep noticing that you're missing little knick-knack stuff.
Do I notice that
You had a nail clipper, and that's gone. And Prongor has said that some bolts have gone missing.
nothing of major value, just little thing? Okay, so then he would have enough intuition to know that okay, it's been Glebe. As he's going through the rest of the stuff, he stops and the ship's kind of silent, and he turns around and he looks at his bed again. And then he shakes his head and he keeps going through his stuff. And then he's going to leave his room and lock the door and then walk back to the top of the ship.
As you walk into the bedroom, you're going to see Hero sort of swinging on his cot, alone amidst the cots. He's going to turn at the noise of you. "Oh, you're back," he says.
Yeah.
"Hey, I was hoping I could get your help on something."
What you need?
"Well, I figure if we're going to undertake this quest, I think we should really get it all out in the open. I think we should have a group meeting and everybody should lay it on the table. Fates and tricks. If we're going to be fighting together for a long time, I think we should know that stuff.
Fates can be pretty personal, though.
That's why I was hoping that you would help me, since you've already told us a lot about your fate.
Yeah, I don't tell many people about that stuff. I don't know if everybody's going to want to divulge things like that, but I think it's a good idea.
Also, while you were gone, I read Shadow's fate.
Huh?
I wanted, if you wanted to be the first to know, I was going to tell you.
Just tell me one thing. Is it good?
I don't know.
I don't really know.
What'd you say?
I don't really know.
He nods. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say something to Juniper. So I think it's a good idea.
So, since I was planning on kind of getting all the baits out there,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shadow's kind of one of the team too. I mean, what if her fate is something like Juniper could pick up on is causing danger or something?
I guess. I've never wanted to know because I've always been afraid.
I didn't know she was so young. I thought she was like an old dragon.
No, I got her when she was a baby.
Yeah, but I didn't know she was like my age.
Yeah. I was only like 12, 13 when I found her.
He nods. So anyway, did you want to know first, or do you want me to reveal that to everybody at the same time? Or he kind of shrugs, obviously not wanting to be awkward.
I'll find out with everybody else. Quick thing though. Little bird, messenger bird, doesn't remember anything before getting touched by the darkness.
Is that normal?
Toddler.
Yes, this.
Is that like a normal thing that happens when?
I don't think any of this is normal, but it's a
Usually nothing's normal around a godmother.
It's pretty funny. So you should come upstairs and check this out.
Tell you the truth, I kind of came down here because there's like a lot of people. Like, I'm used to being around a whole bunch of meeks, you know, who can sort of control the outflow, but it's a little much, he says. But yeah, I should probably come on.
You should come see this.
Okay. He's going to come upstairs. You guys are going to watch.
Do I happen to catch Shadow's wall art anywhere? Is it?
It's as soon as you come out of the bedroom, it's like right there next to the stairwell.
He didn't notice it on the way in, but he definitely stops for a second and looks at it and goes, and then walks upstairs.
Okay.
Have you seen her drawings before
Yes.
I take it?
You guys watch as a black knife shoots through the sky and is going to land and drop a small pile of branches onto the deck. Shadow has returned. Triss is going to come up and pick up one of the light, sort of tan woods. This is it. Where'd you find it? She says. Shadow is going to place her fingers 1, 2, 3 on the deck. Is that miles? 3 miles. Triss says, which side? Her tail is going to point north. 3 miles to the north? Okay. How far down? Shadow is going to... Okay, far. Triss says, just tell us when we get close. Shadow nods. Captain, I'm looking for a way to fix up that hole in the ship.
I know.
It looks like she's found a sunwood tree. If we can get to it and get some of the supplies from it, I think I can do a full repair on the ship while we go.
I trust your opinion, Triss.
Are there any dangers? Shadow says. Prongor, don't see what's so great about it, he says. Ugly thing.
I don't think
jealous
anything
of
calls him cute.
Your master's son?
He says, what? Poppycock. He says.
She can't help it. Juniper seems to be in a fairly good mood right now. Like, kind of like, more so than usual. And she's animated about it.
Little peppered bird, Prongor says.
See?
What's this white? He says. He points at like a little stripe coming off his cheek.
I believe those are tribal markings. If I recognize him correctly, he is from a tribe that lives on the Embers.
Tropical bird. He
They're
says,
extremely isolated.
are they worth anything? Prongor says.
June's eyes narrow slightly. She goes, they're sentient.
Like the feathers.
Would you sell your master's son?
He says, I will ask you to stop referring to the bird as that.
Is that what you want, Isaac?
Isaac's not here. He's looking at porn bags.
Oh, wait. Sorry about that. Cross that up.
Do you say anything about it, Ben?
What?
Does your family say anything, Ben?
She'd probably say, has your master told you to tell people that he should stop being referred to in that fashion?
I find it difficult to believe that Master Isaac would wish to be saddened by such a tiny speck.
You find it difficult, but not impossible.
He seems exasperated. He's going to turn around and head downstairs. Master Isaac! He says.
June turns and gives you a slight grin.
As you come out, you're going to see Roland and Hero also exit from the other side. Prongor comes barreling down the stairs. Master Isaac, have you declared something ridiculous about the bird creature? He says.
Oh, that thing? I've declared nothing, but it's taken me on as its father. It seems I've been adopted.
And are you happy with this absurd occurrence?
I can tell you that me and Juniper have tried very hard to convince it otherwise, and it does not listen. So I don't think we have an option.
So it is merely stupid, then, he says. It's just stupid, he says, walking back upstairs.
Your son! What are you going to do about that?
Hero's like standing in the doorway adjacent to you, and the two of you have just seen the occurrence in front of you, and now you're looking across the way at Isaac coming out from the brig. Hero's going to look over towards Isaac. I was hoping that we might have like a group chat, he says.
Isaac looks a little uncomposed, and he says, it's fine. None of us have anywhere else to go anyways, he says as he kind of stomps up the stairs.
Roland, you come up and see Shadow and a pile of wood. Triss is adjacent to the dragon, the rest of the group. Hero is going to head up towards Walks. Hi, he says. I'm sorry, it's asleep. So he's going to like go up. He's adorable, he says. Hero.
I know, right?
Blah, blah, blah. No one says Popjack's adorable.
You're right.
Popjack seems perturbed. Hero's going to approach the two of you and describe his desire for a talk. I was hoping that since we're now on the quest, that we might sit down and really put it all out there, he says.
It's dead silent from Euphemia.
It's actually pretty quiet from June as she's looking at Potjack.
Where would we do this that would not be too close to people whose ears shouldn't hear it?
What about your cat?
We all fit in there?
Yeah.
Okay. That was an out-of-game question. That was not a June question.
Maybe.
I think it's a good idea. Bale says, approaching.
Really? She looks at her.
If we're going to do it,
Then I guess we go all in.
that's what you said, Captain.
You always call me on my shit, she says under her breath.
You're going to hear Prongor standing adjacent to Isaac. He's going to whisper,
Isaac, after the first syllable, Isaac knows what he's saying, and Isaac's gonna.
He said it much too quietly for anybody to hear but you.
Okay.
You all right over there?
Yes. A bit too much walking for my taste today. Going to and from that lab.
Are your hooves sore?
Yes. Why? Thank you for asking.
Oh, they are, sir. We can give you a foot massage, Prongor says.
How do you massage a hoof?
You don't massage the hoof. There's around the hoof, he says. It's very simple.
He's quite good at it. If you'd ever like to ask him.
I don't think he would like that much.
He says, since you are so keen on changing your form, he says, perhaps you could experience it sometime. It almost sounds like a threat.
I think he's offering me a massage.
How good of a masseuse is Prongor?
He's not as good as he could be because of his metal arm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
June is intentionally being obtuse. She knows exactly what he's actually doing, but she's just playing along that. It was a very kind gesture.
So, should we put him downstairs? Hero says towards the walks. Sleep?
I would prefer to not have him out of my sight right now.
I guess I get that, he says.
Considering he still has his messenger abilities and the mind and mentality of a very small child, that could go wrong very quickly.
Look, if we're going to do this, Bale says, let's just do it. I mean, we're in the Crystal Forest, so it's about as calm as it's going to be.
Fair enough.
What is this?
That page is not mine. I just realized it was still. Oh, okay, it's.
Oh.
I wasn't sure whose handwriting that was.
I was like, it's probably not mine.
Alright. I think it's a good suggestion. And will require some alcohol.
Godfather, do you think it's a good suggestion? Bale asks.
June has a very closed expression right now. She's pretty much completely walled off, but she looks blankly serene, if I can describe it that way.
Well, she says, are you all in?
Hero's going to look towards Juniper with a sort of tilt to his head, and he says, look, I'm not asking everybody to, reveal everything about people that aren't themselves, he says tactfully.
There's only so much I can reveal about myself, but I will give what I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you all don't want to hear all my stuff either. A lot of family.
It might be nicer than a lot of what we have to say, Hero.
Family is a delight. You should cherish it.
Agreed.
I do.
Insight?
Yeah, sure.
19.
He was worried, he was kind of contemplating whether or not you guys were going to think, like, that pumpkin hero is always caring about his family. And so he was kind of nervous to say it, but he really does. So he just said it.
Okay. Just making sure he wasn't, like, sad or something, and I didn't want to
He was
step on a
thinking about
minefield.
the death of his whole race.
That's fair.
Yeah, in mention of his family.
Gotcha. Okay.
She says, all right, we'll do this in my cabin. Bali, you'll join us. Can you break out the good stuff? I need to get some swill for Potjack to keep him busy.
What are we doing? Keeping Potjack busy? He says. I heard my name.
I'm getting you the good stuff, she says, with a really fake smile on her face.
Ooh. Nice. Good, relaxing cruise ship.
We do try.
We could still use that blanket as well.
She gave him one.
Oh, you did? Okay, right.
like,
so he has wrapped it around
true?
his head. So it's like acting as like a pillow for his neck.
I thought you were going to use it to cover your gut.
Oh, shit.
He says,
Oh, yeah, that's so good.
you probably don't deal with this much halfling, but us people have some problems with parasites, so sunlight will get it all killed.
She looks
Sorry.
green.
He's going to, like, unfold his wrinkles.
No, she says. No, I believe you. Very, very much believe
Not for
you.
you, he says, waving his hand at you as he rolls over.
Yeah. June also has a look of vague disgust on her face as she quickly blanks it off.
Nobody be alarmed, they're only for Potjacks.
Let me go get that alcohol. And she walks away very fast.
You all find yourselves in the captain's cabin, some of you ducking. As you enter, you all will notice that there is a chest adjacent to Euphemia's bed without a lock on it. In fact, it doesn't look like it opens at all. And the group has huddled their way in.
You'll also notice, kind of scattered to the side, there's a few paintings, half finished.
All of the materials to do a painting as well. Is Prongor in here?
Wait, so you're a painter?
She does paint.
Oh, that's so exciting.
They're all underwater, and they're sort of a picture of the bioluminescence that you see near the bottom of the ocean.
You see June looking at it appreciatively as you come through. And she says, you paint.
I do. I picked it up from a great painter and terrible lover.
I take classes in Bridgewalk.
You take painting classes.
I do. It's a bit of a hobby of mine. She looks happy.
I feel like you have a lot of hobbies, she says.
I have a lot of time.
Okay, so Bali walks to sleeping. Potjack is not in here.
No.
Is Shadow in here?
Can Shadow fit well in there?
She can always just poke her head
She
out
is
of the
poking
shadow.
out of the shadow.
That would be up to you. If her fate is going to be revealed there, it would be up to
I
you
mean,
if you
also,
went
it's
with her.
not really she doesn't need to be present for her fate being told to everybody, really.
You're gonna not tell the person whose fate being read their own fate?
Well, Hero told her her own fate.
Okay.
Okay, I was
Fair.
not aware of
That's
that.
fair. Okay.
And Prongor.
How much of the crew is going to be in there?
None of the crew, just Molly.
Oh, no, then Prongor will
She
stay
would
outside.
not let Prongor come in. No.
Prongor's
Why not?
upset.
In no way does he seem to have some, like, questionable intentions. He seems
Okay.
totally trustworthy, and, like, he would never use this information
Above the board.
against us, right?
Well, you'd let me in there.
You seem a little bit better to her now.
Okay.
You don't even know how to, like, be friendly with people and smile. It's kind of like...
Vaguely endearing.
Yes, exactly. Like, you're a project.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
So now we see how the relationship between
Yep.
between you two is going to go. Where did Alex come from? That's weird.
As you all walk in and the door is finally shut. Who wants to start? Molly says as she raises a glass to her lips, silencing herself. I'll go first, Hero says. Hi, I might be a hero, says. My fate is the same as my name. You might be a hero. What all do you want to know?
Is that the whole thing?
Except
fate.
short fates. Only like 10% of meeks have fates that are longer than a sentence.
I don't think I knew that.
Most people don't. I'm from Gantherin. It's to the north. He thinks for a second. East of Giran.
She raises an eyebrow. But I assume you were originally born in...
Alana.
She nods.
Yeah, I had an aunt. She died when I was young, but she owned a house on the small block on Alirna that has the fate to grant fate reading to one of every 1,000 children born there. Most meeks make a pilgrimage there when they are born in order to try to get lucky. I just happened to get lucky.
How do you feel about your fate?
He looks like that was more personal than he was thinking this was going to get.
You started this, son.
He goes,
I didn't say that.
I don't know. People seem to think it's a big deal, but it doesn't seem like much to me.
Do you still think that now, even though you've been called in here as part of this prophecy? Surely that has
For
to
all I
mean
know,
something.
the prophecy could be because you're going to get food poisoning without me.
I feel like that's unlikely.
I don't know. I admit that I never would have thought that I could fight those Ascended. But I'm here.
You're doing fine, man. I'll go next. You guys pretty much already know. Most people know my fate anyway. Always walks in the light. Can't be corrupted. Which essentially means that I pretty much can't do the wrong thing.
Wow.
Won't work.
It's from mind control, right?
What? Mind control, but also if I like say I want to take a life, but it's the wrong thing, I physically can't do it.
What is the right thing, then? What if you have to kill something to save others, but that thing is innocent?
Well, then I guess I can do it. But in single combat, he'll stand victorious or whatever. That is the thing, and it's not me. So you guys know that. You're about a very small percentage of people who know that. So please hold that tight and don't let other people know, because it would be very, very annoying if idiots like that knew. And, he kind of looks out at Potjack. If we're fighting, and I'm fighting somebody, don't attack them. The other will shut down, and I'll be just regular Roland, which isn't that helpful all the time. But, yeah. That's...
So, to specify,
Just-
most people know Roland's fate's working, and there are plenty of theories about what exactly it does. He shall raise hearts high on a spear of duty. Is often considered to his actions inspire the populace of an area that he is in. Is what that's supposed to do. Uncorrupted, unsullied, and walking eternally in the light. Now, I will say, your fate does not prevent you from killing somebody if it's the wrong thing. That does not happen.
Oh, I thought that...
No, the uncorrupted, unsullied, and walking eternally in the light means you can't be corrupted by darkness. Additionally, you cannot
I
be
thought
mind
you-
controlled by anybody or
Okay.
made to do something against your will.
I thought we had talked about that
You have
in this-
free
in
will
this-
to choose
in this game
your own
already.
actions.
Because with
I
the...
imagine that.
No.
No, that's paladin. That's
That's
the
my
oath
bite
made
in
as
the
a
ass,
paladin.
Okay.
No kidding.
Yeah, which comes from the angels, so you need to keep your oath to protect people and not kill innocents.
That was it.
Those of evil's bent shall fear his name and tremble at his sight, is another line. And that one, of course, seems pretty self-explanatory. You have to be a psychopath to not fear when Roland comes charging at you. In single combat, he shall never fall but stand up. This is, of course, the one that gives him the other.
She'll say, when were you aware of the other?
9 or 10.
Has he ever talked to anybody else?
Aside from...
Like in combat, he'll say something occasionally.
Yeah, he'll say something sometimes in combat, but...
Have you ever tried to summon him outside of combat?
So, while you guys were gone, I had Shadow come downstairs and I read her fate. So I got her permission to tell you all. So, I figured that when we're doing Roland, we should go ahead and do Shadow too, he says. So I can read fates, but I'm not great at interpreting them, so hoping that somebody can give me some insight into this. You are the Reaper, in chill without sun. Last of the family, you cannot run. Great claws seeking to tear you asunder. So many eyes search, a roar like thunder. With brother you fight, flitting through the night. The terrible sight, crushing final bite.
May I borrow that? I won't look at anything else, I swear.
Isaac, you may make a disadvantaged wisdom check, and Juniper, you may make a straight intelligence check. Inspiration.
Uh, 21. What'd you get?
1.
Wait, you rolled what was with your wisdom?
I rolled a 1 with my wisdom. It's 6.
And yours was a 21?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you know a little bit about fates, but like not that much. You know that it's a rhyming fate, which means it only happens when she hits puberty. Juniper. Combining this with the knowledge that you have when Euphemia took the comma from Shadow, this fate means a lot of things. First, you are fairly sure and are able to guess that the brother talking within it is Roland.
I guessed that.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one more piece of the fate. The last line. First flight.
Terrible bite, first flight.
Yes.
Crushing final bite.
Oh.
First flight.
Mm.
The fate seems to talk about some other creature besides Shadow and is describing that creature. The last of the family makes you think that it is discussing some member of the Shadow's family. This could be another shadow dragon.
June will give her interpretation to the group. What he said.
What does final crushing bite mean? She asks.
When you reached into shadow, you felt lethality to her fate. You believe, if you have taken her interpretation into account, that means that somebody's going to die during that encounter.
So, it's either she kills or is killed, she says.
But the final bit of first flight would suggest that she would be killing someone else, which would lead to her flight.
But who?
Perhaps... Well, she can already fly, so perhaps it has something to do with a flight with someone. I don't know. Perhaps you'll be able to fly with her one day.
I was wondering.
Unfortunately, fates are vastly open to interpretation and situations. One can never be very specific unless the fate specifically states something, which is not common these days.
What was it? Hero says.
Thank you, Hero.
You did a good job, she says.
So it's crushing final bite,
First
then
flight.
first flight.
Hero, you're the one who called this meeting, and I have to ask, is there someone in particular you're wanting to learn more about?
No, he says. Mostly I was just hoping that, I don't know, maybe we could find some synergy within the group.
Do you think we're lacking synergy?
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty. Where do you see that weak link?
I mean, I've heard stories of adventuring groups in the books that I have in my home. They always talk about how their fates meld together, he says.
Have I read stories like that?
He says, like Tamil, the Iron Juggernaut, in Garen. She often combines with Canis the Hawk, and she'll pick him up and throw him so that he can fly super fast.
Isaac's
She's
kind of
so
nodding
strong.
along. I see. I understand why you called us together now.
You want us to learn how to combine our combat abilities more successfully?
I mean, or maybe just, I don't know.
No, it's a good idea, actually.
I guess if we're to be successful, we can't spend all our time just acting like strangers traveling together through circumstance.
Well, we could. She
We
says it into her
certainly
drink
could.
and then knocks it back. She's been drinking quite consistently during this entire meeting.
Well, Hero, in that case I have to ask, is there any synergies you've spotted already that we aren't taking advantage of?
Well, I don't really know what the wishes do, or what they can't.
You see June actually kind of do that.
Well then, June, maybe you should go next.
I don't know if we can know these things.
Yeah, on the head.
This is what I thought was.
Okay, well, is there anything that you can't do?
Well, I can't bring someone back to... I usually can't bring someone back to life.
What do you mean, usually?
It takes a lot of power.
You can bring someone back from the dead?
I've only done it twice.
Can you break fates?
Temporarily. It's about the same level that Harper can do it, but it does cost power.
How much power do you have?
Depends. I have to save it up.
Like a piggy bank?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose you could say that.
Does it wear you out?
Me, physically? No.
Yeah. You
It's
just
not like magic.
Does magic have a physical toll on the body?
Yeah, that's what the spell slots are.
Okay. But mentally, is it strenuous for you?
No.
What happens when you run out of wishes?
I can't use them.
There's no adverse effects?
No.
Are you like all the godmothers? Can they all do that?
Yes.
So is it a...
And then you're also a wizard?
Yes.
But you've cast non-wizard spells.
I also trained with a cleric.
He looks over at Isaac. Not Isaac?
Isaac.
Oh, okay.
I dare say.
I don't know. It's fated, he says, shrugging his shoulders.
She raises an eyebrow.
I thought maybe like you all had met at some point in the past.
No. The first time I ever personally laid eyes on Isaac was in the throne room.
That was very specific, she says. Personally laid eyes? Have you heard of him before? Dealt
You
with
hadn't?
Isaac just starts like racing through his memories, trying to remember when he has ever seen you before. And also trying to identify what throne room that would be.
The Kieran throne room.
Oh, that throne room.
Yeah, when we all
Never
met.
I assumed it would have been like you saw him as a kid or something when... Okay.
Wait, have you ever met me before this?
I've seen you, and I know you through other people.
So we've never dealt with each other without me knowing?
She actually smiles and she goes, we have.
Right. I had a feeling.
Wait, what happened?
I do stuff for godmothers tell me to
He
do
is a
things.
quester.
So I just wondered if we'd ever cross paths. I've never thought to ask.
Wait, so it's actually true? You guys change shape and then, like, become old ladies on roads?
You see June looking like she really doesn't want to talk about this. You've all noticed that June hasn't spoken or asked any questions at all during this meeting, which is very out of character for June's usual curiosity. And it looks like she does not want to answer these things. However, she's trying to be polite and as stoic and succinct as possible.
So
And she goes, yes.
I'm sorry for opening that up. You want to go next?
a wizard of a godmother with a piggy bank full of power, but you still haven't told us your fate.
My fate is inconsequential.
I don't think that was
I want to roll insight on that.
Yeah.
$15.
You get nothing.
All right. Rolled well.
She'll say, so I know he's a noble well-to-doer. You seem used to your niceties. Have you always been that way?
No.
Can you tell us anything about where you came from?
You would not have heard of it.
You could try me.
Is it outside of Ignos?
No.
I don't know.
Hero, are we all allowed to be as stoic as she is, or does she get a free pass because she's a godmother?
Well, to be fair, this isn't one of those talk sessions people do in the big cities where you sit there and pay them to listen to you, so I don't want to hear it. Let's not do that.
therapy?
Whatever it is.
Isaac's thinking and he goes, are they being paid to listen to me?
Sorry. You do see June looking like she's weighing something on her mind right now. And she goes, very well. If if I must reveal something. And this goes no further than this room, ever. Every other person I have told this to, I have required a fate contract. Ever. It will put your lives in danger if I tell you. And my own. Do you wish to know?
Yes. She says immediately.
She needs unanimous
Is it
consent.
important to what we're doing?
It might come up in the future.
I mean, we're already in danger. So, okay. Sure, Polly says.
You have my word. I'm good at keeping secrets.
Does everybody in the room agree? She is literally looking between everybody.
I legitimately hate that we're making you do this.
She does not look like she's happy, but she does.
But everyone
realize
has to have skin in the game.
Yes, and that's why she's doing it.
Okay, that's everybody.
I am not actually human. You saw me change in the room, back in Yinjasi's lair. I am a fairy.
Color me surprised. That explains so many things.
Wait, you're not joking? You're not joking. What does that mean? Are there a lot of fairies?
Not as many as I wish.
What do you really look like?
Rude?
June knew it was coming, and she goes... She sets up slightly, and then she will just stop being what she is, and now she is a fairy standing on the table. She's actually very small. She's only about the size of my hand. She looks basically like she does this way, but she has very intricate and very pretty wings that look very much like the light of heaven.
Oh.
And then she immediately changes back. There are very few of us who are out in the open. We are a prime target for the darkness. Thus, the reason I do not allow myself to be known. I have many, many enemies in the world. And it is best that they do not know that I am out and about. She gives every single person in the room a very piercing look.
Well, I don't know if anyone else in the group can top that.
Is this a contest?
It was in my mind, but now I know I've lost.
I think we all have plenty of questions for you, she says.
I actually need one.
Okay, give me
Oh yeah, you used yours.
What?
I give you 2.
Oh, thank you.
Are you breaking the 1 token limit for this game?
No, but if I give her inspiration, she gains a wish point.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I only get the 1 inspiration, but
Right.
I get the wish points for them.
Understood.
Which is very important.
Well, I guess I'll go next. Isaac scans the room. Do you have very many things on your shelves, like knickknacks or trinkets or things like that?
It would all be bolted down, right?
It would toss about, so there's not going to be a whole lot other than
Okay.
what we could actually nail down.
His hand comes out from his robes and he's holding a small paper bird that kind of like flitters to life, and he says, "Your touch brings life to the lifeless. Your mind and will is their own. Your rest is their restoration." And then the bird kind of like falls back into a flat piece of paper, and he puts it away. That is my fate. Not that you all didn't already know.
What happens if you touch a dead body?
What do you think?
Pretty sure we've seen that happen already.
But they don't return to life.
No. They are but puppets. About the most altruistic thing I can do is make sure that their corpse makes it back in one piece, or just use them for my bidding.
Is altruism important to you?
It is in the presence of this crew. I know that I don't have the best history. And I often worry about what you all will do with me when this is all said and done.
Do with you?
I am not known as a good person, and you all are all heroes.
Doesn't mean we're all good people, she says.
I am not known at all.
But I do worry about being able to walk away when this is finished.
Do you think we will imprison you?
Yes.
Why? You haven't done anything. I mean, except for be scary.
Might be a hero, you may not know, but I am a wanted criminal.
Where?
Kind of guessed that, she says.
Mostly in the southern Selenox in the south end of the continent. North. Mostly in the northern half of the world.
June clearly does not look surprised.
And so I'm a bit of a black sheep standing amongst these godmothers and famous, renowned heroes.
And pirates.
And pirates whom with I probably identify most closely, but I think the only thing keeping me from being stuck behind a set of prison bars right now is this fate that has drawn us together and has declared that I'm important to this cause.
How could anyone stick you behind prison bars? You just opened the gate with your fate.
Can't open the alien.
Figuratively speaking, behind prison
He
bars.
looks like that was freaking dark.
She does say,
You're like,
however,
You
I
can't
doubt
open
you have...
an unescapable prison.
She goes, however, I doubt that you have done something worthy of the alien. Or have you?
Isaac doesn't say anything.
You get a small smirk.
So, wait, what did you do that made you want it?
Are you a terrorist?
Hero, are you familiar with the idea of a mafia?
Yeah.
I was a member of a gang in my younger years.
Which one?
But clearly all of that's behind me now. It's just me, Prongor, my creations, and you all.
What changed your mind? She asks.
I'm still not quite sure.
Prongor seems like he'd be happy to go back to the old ways.
Do you have that copper coin in your hand?
Yeah. Prongor is a little bit more slow to change than I am, but he's on his way. Not that he'd ever do anything questionable without me telling him to. You don't need to worry about him. He has a good heart.
I do remember. I made port in Selenox with Ronan's crew. This was about half a decade ago. Heard about a gang. One that ran the local housing market on the docks. Oh god. That wouldn't be the same gang, would it? All it says.
There were many families in Selenox, all with their fingers in different pots. Could be anybody.
That's not really an answer, she says.
It's not, but it was a cutthroat town, and if you wanted to get anywhere, you had to do evil things.
Is everyone there doing evil things?
Yes. Almost.
Dolly looks quite thoughtful. All
Could be
right.
most helpful. Do you still have contacts within the less savory elements?
Too many.
That could be useful. I, too, make sure to keep my contact options open.
I'm not sure how many of them know where I am now or what kind of person I've become. It would be easy enough for me to just walk up and resurrect those connections. but I don't think we'll ever need that.
All right. I guess it's my turn. Holly says. I guess I'm the only one in here with an actually bad fate. Every cut leaves a scar. That's it. Nothing good.
Except that you're one of the fastest learners I know.
I was shanghaied when I was pretty young. Made my way up in the ranks. No, yeah. What else? More important than that. Been first mate for, I don't know, almost 4 years now. Eventually, Navy man ship.
You probably earned your own ship some time ago, Polly.
Me and Femia came up together. As part of a tree. Finished Prim, the lightning pirate.
I do miss her, she says.
I've made port in pretty much every dock on Ignos. Not the bright side from that. Return.
Oh. Well, you already know my fate. I can steal things from inside of people. Intangible objects. Your life. Your mind. Your memories. I can't keep them, though, unless you don't want it back. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but it's only in my hand for 10 minutes, that jewel I pull out of people. And then it's no longer mine. Unless, and she looks down at Pearl's Lament, if someone doesn't want it back, I can fuse it with things. Make weapons out of intangibles. However, I will say, pulling things out of people can not always go the way you intend
it. Polly looks up at you and then her eyes flick down towards your gloves.
Jude does follow her eyes.
She pulls one glove off. I can't steal it without the gloves. Some kind of glove. Bare hands. All they can do is wield a sword.
Any glove.
Any. They just have to be covered.
So if we give you a pair of gigantic gauntlets, you could still use them?
You know, I've never tried. We could try.
While this is going on, Isaac wants to roll something to see if I think she could steal the anti-life engine out of my chest.
So, as far as you are aware, the anti-life engine is not a concept, it is an object.
Right.
She spoke of only concepts.
Intangibles.
Okay.
So, like, I can't reach into someone's chest and, like, take their heart out or, like, take a...
Oh, you can't?
No, I cannot.
Oh, see,
I wanted to. I totally wanted to,
So
but Daniel was like, no.
Her fate doesn't extend to any physical object on your person.
So, I don't know if Euphemia specifically knows about the other parts of her fate.
Do you want to read it off?
Well, it's sort of interpreted. I'll let you decide. This isn't in game, but this is just sort of it. So you can steal anything. So an object that is prevented from being stolen
Right.
recognizes you as its master.
Correct.
So she can't just steal somebody's heart from their
But I can't steal
With any
intangible like things
object
inside
that
of
she
me
wants
like
to
that.
take, she has to take the old-fashioned way. She can take it, but she just isn't like given it. Like if it was Excalibur's sword stuck in a rock, she could grab it and pull it out of the stone and would recognize her as Arthur.
Even if it's fated for other people.
Yes.
It becomes mine.
Yes.
So if she steals somebody's heart, they will die.
She's stealing ownership of that object.
So she can't steal a heart.
What?
She can steal life. Heart is not a concept. Heart is an object. She can't reach her hand into you and steal your heart out of your chest.
You just said she could.
Even though it'd be great.
No, she
She can steal physical objects.
She could punch a hole into you and grab your heart and rip it out of
the
you.
good old-fashioned way, right?
Yes. She doesn't. Her fate doesn't benefit her in taking objects.
Okay.
Only if the object is not is like prevented from being hers does her fate override it.
And then inside of a person, it has to be something intangible. Right.
She can't take objects from inside objects. So, like, she could reach into a chest and take coins.
So how much of this are you going to tell us?
But she can't put them back.
What you got?
He told us a lot.
I'm not one to talk.
I know.
There's a reason June hasn't bothered to ask a single question during this.
I've used my fate for things that aren't always very good, she says, looking at Isaac.
Well, you are a pirate. I'd expect no less.
Not when I was a pirate, she says.
Well, who's to say what's good and what's bad? We can't all judge.
It doesn't have to be judged. Sometimes it's just wrong.
I have an out-of-order question that I can't remember the answer to, but I think I know it. Do we know that you're from Absalom? We know that, right?
Alright.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I don't believe she's explicitly said that she's from Aragoth.
I think it came up before because we were talking about Jossia.
Maybe.
But I'm not positive, and that's why I wanted to know.
Alright. And we will go ahead and stop it there for the time being, Noble Heroes. Really appreciate you. Thank you for coming. And please,
I'll get it in a
if you
second.
would, give us a like and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified of any further videos that we come out with. Thanks. Greetings, heroes. Wanted to hit you up with something that you probably don't know about me. I really enjoy D&D. I know. Amazing surprise. Anyway, occasionally I watch a podcast or check out another show here on YouTube, and I found one recently that caught my eye. It's called Unexpectedly Serious Turn. They just launched their second episode, and I'm sure that they're soon to come out with their third on Twitch. I'd say it's about 50% slice of life, a decent amount of drama, and a little bit of a shopping sim. If that sounds like fun, check them all out over on YouTube and Unexpectedly Serious Turn. Thanks, guys. Bye.